as it mostly depends on the geography of pre-existing streets, you'd think the track layout is pretty fixed. In actual fact, the Monaco Grand Prix circuit has changed 10 times over its life. Some have been minor tweaks, but others, including the infamous swimming pool section, have added tremendous character and challenge to the course. Located
I want to thank Sem for pointing that out once again. This is the second time I've done this, and I've done it once again. Hello, everyone, for the Monaco Grand Prix. You've been guided around the lap with Skyzy, which wasn't commentated because my mic chose to go to my headset one, which isn't even turned on. But anyway, we're right on board with Capitano now for a lap. So let's actually go for a commentated lap now and give you a bit more insight. Thank you so much, Sem, for that. Otherwise, that would have been pretty embarrassing. So thank you for pointing that out. Anyway, running on board with Capitano now. But he's on the medium compound tyre, so you expect less grip through the middle sectors, as it is it turns a lot. And the same with the final sector. Final sector is where you'll lose a lot of time on the mediums compared to the softs. Obviously, with corners like to back and the swimming pool chicane. But now coming up into the tunnel. So I haven't even mentioned yet. Thankfully, I did mention some of the drivers are sporting a pink helmet with the number 19. Obviously, in remembrance of Antoine Hubert. Not sure if Wesley's running a pink design. Yeah, some of the drivers are, some aren't. I believe Skyzy is, and I believe a few are. But it's nice to see that a few people are paying their respects to someone who has who's lost their life in motorsport recently, clarifying the fact that motorsport is dangerous and nothing can be taken away from in real life drivers. Someone is supporting Princekill in the chat, so I have no clue what that is because it's Dutch. But anyway, it looks like except for Skyzy, as Wesley's just gone P2, the grid is actually not that far apart at the moment. Mr. Skyzy to F1 bot. Yeah, Skyzy's time trial time was completely out this world. He did a 1:08.5 for his time trial. Let that sink that in. A 1:08.5. That's like top 100 in the world. As we now see York coming around, and looks like he's not happy with that lap, and he's gonna redo his lap. And yep, he's going for another lap on those mediums. So let's run on board with York then for a comprehensive lap around this circuit there. And he's on his out lap and now coming into his lap, my bad. And now breaking down into turn 1. Looks like he's got a black helmet, obviously for Antoine Hubert. I hope that's for breaking now down into the left hand. I've completely forgot the name of. And now into Casino, right-hander, taking it in third gear for the best turn possible. Now breaking down into Mirabeau. And now into Lowe's hairpin that follows shortly. Will he ride the curb? He'll ride it on the, I believe, left rear tyre just a tiny bit. And then into the next few corners. He's got to take it at a slow pace to make sure he does not graze any walls. There will be podium interviews today, I do believe. So, anyway, breaking now down into the chicane. And now up the gears once again. Into Tobacco now. Taking it as quick as possible. Oh, York's hit the wall. He tried to take too much entry speed and he's definitely not got that on the exit. So sadly we won't see York's lap be completed due to that error. Wesley looks like, is he just going for some laps on the mediums at the moment? As he's just hit the wall. And it looks like anyone I commentate is going to crash at this moment in time. As it looks like a bad omen. Is Wesley is just facing the wrong way down towards the back. And that's the sight to behold as he's hit the wall once again. Trying to get back round. But let's have a look at Vinstra, his teammate, actually. The two Dutchies in the Haas. I think you believe Princekill will get P3. Yeah, I think Princekill does have a good chance. If he stays out of trouble, anyone can get P3, P2, P1. It was a great example yesterday. If you just stayed out the barriers, you were on for a top 5 finish, basically, in F1. Unlike me, who had 4 stops. Because I am really bad at Monaco. But anyway, Vinstra now coming around the final few corners. And will he pop into the pits? Yes, he will pop into the pits. Being 1.7 seconds off pole. But let's have a look at Invisible. He's on an outlet. Let's run more with Skyzy once again. And let's just see this. Everyone just take notes. Because this is how to do a quality lap at the moment. Obviously sporting a pink helmet design for Antoine Hubert. I believe he's running number 19 as well. Yes, he is. Breaking now down into the chicane and now back up the gears. Up into gear 4, gear 5 now. And he holds it in gear 5 and goes down to gear 4 to back now into the swimming pool chicane. He now comes breaking now into gear 3. Very tight on the entry and exit there. Breaking now down into Rasgas. I believe Skyzy does have ABS on, so it's quite easy for him to get through the likes of Rasgas. If he's going to improve on his time, just send this guy up to F1 because it's Foxy the kind of pace he has. And 109.680. He's the second clear of anyone else. Call this guy Mr. Foxy dude because this is pace that would deserve an F1 spot. What's his teammate doing? The number 24, Lord Elephant. Riding the curbs. Now coming into the final sector. Lord does look like he wants to challenge, but I feel like he's going to be a bit inconsistent. So he does come around the final corner, obviously with a bit of a tank slapper around Raskas. What will he do up to line? He's hit the wall once again, and he's actually gone P3 with that lap time, so it could be potentially a Ferrari 1-2 if Law can string a lap together. My predictions, you've got to say Skyzy is a favourable person to put on your top step. As yeah, I believe the top 3 in quality at the moment could be the top 3 in the race. As it's looking like those top 3 are kind of separated from the rest. Obviously, there's a 3/10 gap between Lord and Walsberg, and I believe Lord can definitely improve by a few tenths of a second at least. And you can see he's not even got his right front end plate on his car. So obviously he's going to be losing a lot of lap time, up to around a second over the course of the lap. Yeah, over the curve he now goes, and that's not what you want to see as he comes around to the back right now. I wonder if he's coming to the pits in the end of the lap. Let's put on some telemetry. He actually is pushing, as his EOS is on mode 5. But let's have a look. Does he come into the pits? He does come into the pits. There's no point of improving, so he will not. So let's have a look at Wesley now, coming through the casino down towards Mirabeau now. It's actually amazing to see how the circuit does change throughout the lap. Obviously, casino, this very, very posh place where everyone comes and does their gambling and everything. And then you see corners like Portier, where not a lot is going on as we now come under the bridge. And then into a more, I'd say, would I say residential area? I would say, yeah, I'd say a bit more of a residential area, with obviously very rich with all the boats and stuff. You can see the hotels in front as they go down into turn number 1. Now braking once again now down into the swimming pool chicane, and now into the final few corners as he reaches the back straight once again as Prince Killer. Never mind, I didn't even see that. Let's have a look at Wesley. Wesley does not improve, but Prince Killer has only gone 4 tenths off Skyzy, which is promising for the Toro driver. P4 at the moment for Prince Killer, the Dutchman, who was actually in F1 last season, but he's been demoted. Last race, Skyzy finished P6, and Prince Killer P2 exactly. Well, yeah, I believe Skyzy had a bit of an off around Catalonia, so I wonder if this will be his redemption to that. As Prince now pops into the pits. Wesley, I believe he's on another lap, so I believe we should just go and look at him. No, he isn't actually. I think he's on a regen lap, and he's going to go once again. It does seem to be like that. Let's have a look at Nick, and Nick is on a flying lap right now in the Mercedes, in the Silver Arrow. What can he do? The number 98 car. Obviously more well known at the moment for his Guarana racing stuff on GT Sports, rather than on the F1 side at the moment. Breaking now down. He's also well known as the Constructors Champion, teammate to a certain Foxy D, always scoring consistent points in F2. Now coming around the final few corners into the swimming pool chicane. He now comes and out of it, and breaking once again down into Raskas. And then he's still got a bit of EOS left, and I believe he's left it in mode 5 for the whole of it. He may actually run out. Yeah, he's run out on the straight, but I don't think it'll inhibit him a lot. 1.2 seconds off pole with a 1 minute, I'm going to say 1 minute, is that 1 minute 10.979. So ahead of his teammate by 2 tenths of a second. So that's something that he'll like to brag about. But now as we're entering the final 2.5 minutes, well, just 2 minutes 50, people will be coming out for the final time as you now see Invisible on his lap in the Renault. The guy in front, I believe that's Vinstra, will definitely have to get out of the way of Invisible sooner rather than later. This could really put him off if he's not careful. So Vinstra will definitely have to get out of the way as soon as he can. He's weaving about, and what is he doing? I don't know what Vinstra's doing. Yep, he's letting Invisible pass. Not in the best spot possible. As you can see, Invisible got the number 19, sporting Antoine Hubert's number. Let's have a look what Invisible can do. He obviously had the pace for F2, So let's have a look what he can do. Coming now, breaking now down into the chicane, the Nouvelle chicane, then back up the gears once again for the ride up to back. Will he be clean sailing through here? Yes, he will. And I can tell you right now, he's got time for a cool down lap and then another time lap if he wants to. Breaking now down into the final few corners, into Raskas and into Anthony Nogues right now. Around the final corner. What will Invisible do with this lap? Will he get promoted? He's only going to answer P9. It's an improvement, but not an improvement that has really pushed him up the tables that much. Go Nicker, says Bruma. I'm not surprised you're saying that. Have fun at uni, Bruma. As you can see, everyone now parading. Looks like they're on their flying laps now. Mamba's on his flying lap. It looks like there's going to maybe be a bit of a train, as we can see Skyzy letting everyone else pass. So that's Black Mamba coming past. Then it is, I believe that's Wesley. Is that Wesley? No, it's not. That's Veenstra actually. Veenstra's on a flyer, so he needs to be careful. And then I believe there's also someone else behind him. So I don't think Skyzy's finished all of his letting away, as we see a beautiful camera angle from the rear of that car. As it looks like there's a bit of a rivalry in the chat between a certain Point and a certain Nico at the moment as who to support. But Point is now coming around the final few corners. Will he be able to improve on his 110.0? It's looking not too good for him as he now pops into the pits as Wesley now starts his lap with 30 seconds left. Lord Elephant, he knows he can do better. Waterboat, what can he do? Black Mamba coming around the final corner. What can Black Mamba do? Will it be an improvement on his lap time? He will get promoted up into P3. Visual, what can he do? He will stay in the same position, but he's got time for another timed lap. So does Black Mamba if he chooses to. Let's ride on board with York. What's York doing? York coming up to the line will not improve as he's backed off. So now people obviously finishing their laps. Black Mamba's not going to do another lap. Wesley, where's Wesley? Wesley's coming round towards the Nouvelle chicane right now. What can he do? That'll be a question because we know he's quite Skyzy on a lap as well. Can he improve? Lord Elephant, where's he? He's coming down to Nouvelle chicane. Waterbout up to the line. What will he do? He will go P1 with a 109.5. We have someone challenging. Waterbout on pole at the moment. Can Skyzy improve? Black Mamba obviously slowed down. Wesley coming up to the line. Will Wesley be able to do anything about that lap time? He won't. He'll stay exactly where he is. Lord Elephant coming around the final corner now. What can he do? Up to the line. Lord Elephant stays exactly where he is. So now it's all down to Skyzy. And he's backed off. He's backed off. Skyzy has backed off. And he's come into the pits. He's been beaten by Waterbout. So Waterbout, right at the line when everyone else wasn't expecting it, has just gone and shot that lap time by a 10th. We thought Skyzy, yeah, he's got this covered now, but the Racing Point has absolutely gone and annihilated him, as it looks like Black Mamba could be out of fuel right now as he crosses the line. But Waterbout, fair play to him, sporting the number 19 and the pink helmet. It's only right, isn't it? But well done. Chi-Chi, obviously. And it looks like we're getting quite a lot of viewers on the stream now, so thank you everyone so much for tuning in. But here is your grid. It's a small grid today, but who says it can't make some action? So here we go then. Waterbout will be in P1. P2 will be Skyzy. P3 will be Prince. And P4 will be Black Mamba. P5 on the medium compound tyres will be Wesley. P6 will be Lord Elephant. P7 will be Nika. P8 will be Capitano on the medium compound tyres. P9 will be Invisible. P10 is Vitra. And rounding off the grid today is York in P11. York and Vitra retired on track. That's not going to go down too well in the steward's room. Will it? I'll be back in 1 second, lads. I'm back. I'm back. As it looks like everyone is just on the grid, Hopefully there's no implications in terms of there you go, server being absolutely fine, as Wesley's just readied up, as everyone should be readying up as their setups are being put on the car. So everyone, what are your predictions? Who's going to win this? So Wolfsburg is on pole, but we know Skyzy has pace. So then, it's now time for the formation lap. Wolfsburg obviously starting on pole with that lap time right at the death of things to put his car on pole. I caught his car at the end, so that would have been a lovely lap to finish the quality on. Lovely to spectate. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, as loads of people have actually left, shame on you, have left. It looks like Wolfsburg, no, it looks like Skyzy, sorry. Looks like he may have been blocked on his lap by a slow Mercedes. And I have a feeling that could be Black Mamba, who is out of fuel. So, I'm not sure if he can do anything about it, but it's just not good. So, Wolfsburg looking like he wants a fast formation lap. He wants to warm up his tyres. Meanwhile, Skyzy is slowing up the pack so much. He wants a good start. And the only way he's going to get that is having much warmer tyres than the car ahead of him. Obviously, Wolfsburg now realised that he has to slow down a lot, and he's going to have to re-jumble the pack up. Otherwise, his tyres are going to get very cold on the start line. Let's have a look. Skyzy, yeah, around to back, so he's actually closing on, which is good. Then behind him is Prince, then Black Mamba, then Wesley, then Lord Elephant, then Nika, then Capitano, then Invisible, then Vitra, then York at the back of the grid. So let's have a look at the tyre details then. So the 3 people, I believe, yeah, the 4 people that we saw who we expected on the mediums, I believe, are on those mediums. Those mediums can go about, I believe, around 19-20 laps. So you can probably do mediums to mediums, but obviously that is not a tyre strategy that you could do, because you have to use 2 sets of tyres. But I expect this is definitely going to be a softer, hard race, unless they are a lot of pit stops ahead for these drivers. What can they do down into turn 1 and in lap 1? Will there be any kind of implications? Let's have a look as we now get ready for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go to start the Monaco Grand Prix. Very good start for Skyzy there. And Skyzy has jumped Wolfsburg off the line. A very good start. Good reaction time from the Ferrari driver side by side with Lord Elephant and Nika. Oh, Lord Elephant's out. Oh, no. Oh, wow. That's how to crash quickly, and I'm surprised that is not a safety car off the start. And there's already been a crash, lads. And that set the scene already for a very chaotic Monaco Grand Prix to come up. Lord Elephant, I believe on his first race back, or maybe his second, has already crashed and is already out this Grand Prix. We saw yellow flags in Sector 1, but that is not what you want to be seeing on lap 1. Only one Ferrari left in this as they try to go side by side down into turn number 3. But anyway, we're now right on board with Wolfsburg in behind Skyzy as we come through the first lap now, as we see all the cars parading through to back, as Vinstra has been at the back actually. And meanwhile, York has been able to gain a lot of positions, as he's already got a 3-second time penalty. I wonder what he's done to gain that so quickly. But York at the moment, the biggest position gainer with 4, but the only position that really counts at the moment is the 1 for P1, and Skyzy has got that perfectly, as he's already 7 tenths ahead of Wolfsburg. But one thing that isn't really crucial at the moment is obviously the 1 second gap with obviously DRS and all that. Around other tracks, you would see that the DRS is much more useful. Around here, obviously one zone, and it's around, I don't know, 400, 500 meters long. So it doesn't do much compared to, say, tracks like Spain, tracks like China. So actually, meanwhile, Wolfsburg's actually got a very good run out of Portier. So let's have a look if he can do something down into the Nouvelle Chicane. It'd be very daring to do something this early on into the Grand Prix and not hope for any kind of damage. But these two look like they're almost separating themselves already from the pack. Now riding on board with, who should we ride on board with? Ride on board with Invisible at the moment, behind his teammate of Capitano. As we come through the swimming pool, a beautiful camera angle. As he looks like he's losing a tiny bit of contact to Capitano as they come through Rascas now. On board with Capitano, as Waterberg has actually set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, obviously with a bit of slipstream down into the section. Oh, York's actually tried this, excuse me. York's just trying the move on Nicker down into turn 1. He's trying to get those positions early on. And it looks like this guy, who I've never seen race before, is feisty and ready to gain those positions quite early on. Breaking now down. Oh, he's tried it down into Mirabone. That's not worked. And is that going to be what I believe it could be of front wing damage for York? What a stupid guy, Nicker. Says Lord Elephant. Obviously in absolute distress at the moment after crashing out only after 2 corners of the Monaco Grand Prix. I'd like to also congratulate Lord on an amazing crash, because that was amazing. Constantly worrying about drivers making do or die moves on lap 1. Well, I don't know. I guess you have to go back to the Ayrton Senna saying if you see a gap and don't go for it, I don't believe you're no longer a racing driver. I think that's the ethics that he was going for there. So he was. I'm not even going to get involved on that, as that will be something definitely that the stewards will have a look at. Meanwhile, York and Nicker, once again, as we are talking about Nicker right now, are still very close to each other. Meanwhile, up at the top, there is a gap starting to form between the top 2. But at the moment, let's ride on board with York as he comes through Casino. And guys, this is not the place to talk about a stewards inquiry. Let that be dealt by the stewards, and then they'll deal with that after the race. But anyway, breaking now down into the Lowe's hairpin, and now down into Portier before the long straight ahead of us. So York at the moment saving his EOS while Black Mamba is using it, but then down into the braking zones. Not Black Mamba, sorry, Nicker. Why am I saying Black Mamba? I have no clue. But it's looking like we already have that Tour de France style leading pack and peloton. As you can always see, Prince is getting a bit attached, but I'll call that the leading pack. Those 5, and then after that, it's a bit detached. It's 6 seconds to Nicker, who looks like he's holding up York a bit here. As looks like York isn't coming to the pits. It doesn't look like he's got any bad wing damage, so he's going to stay out. Breaking now down into turn number 1, into the corner where Jeff likes to say no heroics down to San Devot place, as Invisible is right behind Capitano actually, and meanwhile York is actually right behind Nicker. So I don't know where to look right now, as Waterbird's also catching up to Skyzy. So we're only 5 laps in, but the battles are still coming in, as York looks like he's trying to get past it any way possible, and it's not looking like, well, around the streets of Monaco you just can't get any moves done around here. So the best places to do it are where you get more grip. So for York at the moment, it's not looking promising. Riding on board with Walshabert now. And guys, can we not have a discussion like this in the chat, please? It makes the lead look a bit unprofessional as we now break down into the next few corners and braking once again down into Rascas. So EOS levels, they're about the same EOS actually. So obviously Walshabert will probably need to save a bit more in these zones of DOS, as I believe at the moment Skyzy would be using more to get away. But only a short while into this race, and we're already seeing some action as Capitano is the first person to come in for a front wing change, and I can assure you, not the last. Prince Killer in P3 at the moment. It looks like he's got a bit of a lead right now, as yeah, I'm not even get involved in that. Yeah, but Prince at the moment just on his own, having a bit of he's having a time of his life, and I never should sing ever again. Thank you. Enjoying a lash, Morgan. No, I'm gonna kid. Anyway, breaking now down into the Nouvelle chicane for Black Mamba and Wesley, who look like they're in a very fierce battle back here. And I can see them definitely in the next few quarters being able to do something. But York, meanwhile, oh, he's just trying. He's got it. He's got the run he needs. He's got the run. Nick is going to have to give room, but no. York's not confident enough to go down the inside of Tabak there. If it was me, I probably would have gone a different way, and the outside man may have to yield, but sadly that's not the case on York's case. He's just trying to make sure he doesn't get any front wing damage that he doesn't need right now, because front wing damage, it'll cost you 18 seconds, but at the moment Nico is costing him about 10 seconds, so it's his call, and he's holding up a massive train behind him, hence the peloton. And I have a feeling at the moment, if this pace carries on, I think Capitano would be able to catch up to these guys if his pace is strong around here. But yes, he is on the hard compound tyres. But yes, I also think that he'll be able to stay within a... well, he'll be able to go to the end of this if he keeps his tyres in a good condition. So now I'm running on board with Wesley, who's going long in this race on the mediums. And I believe people have been trying to do mediums to soft, but... we'll just have to see, won't we? Is York very close to Nico once again. Coming down into the Nouvelle chicane. He's got a bit too close as he tried to brake, and that's gone horribly wrong. And it looks like he's gone into the back of someone as Oswaldo's just popped in with Nico leading the Truly train. And I can assure you, he's leading the Yarno Truly train very well. So at the moment, Nico, yeah, he's holding a bit of a train as Wesley comes into the pits, and it looks like now Wesley has got some front wing damage. As I've just said good words about Wesley, and now he's coming to the pits with some front wing damage. Does he come out ahead of Capitano? He will do, come out way ahead of Capitano, and now he's got a bit of a gap, and he'll be able to absolutely crash his car into it when Mr. Skyzy moves to F1. At the same time that Wolgenbert does, actually, because Wolgenbert, he's staying on the back of Skyzy in fairness, and then Prince is actually catching up. So I don't think it's the fact that Skyzy's pulling away. I have a feeling it's more that Wolgenbert's slowing down, meaning that Prince is being able to catch up a bit, because it's only 1.3 seconds now and decreasing. So has Wolgenbert got some kind of front wing damage that could not do well for him? It doesn't look like it visually, but it looks like he's lost a bit of pace as Bisha picks up a 3-second time penalty. But now Wolgenbert, that gap is now increasing by a lot per lap. Let's have a look at the last lap, shall we? So Sky's last lap was a 14.6, Wolgenbert's was a 15.4, so that's an 8/10 gap at the moment, as Prince Killer's just been able to gain. So 14.6 for Skyzy, 15.2 for Prince Killer. So Prince Killer is obviously catching up to a certain person as Nika looks like he's lost it somewhere. Has he lost front wing as well? As oh, what is happening to Nika? He's losing the plot, but anyway, down the inside of Vistra. That is audacious, and it's worked. Yes, as Prince Killer, yes, he is coming close, and we'll definitely ride on board with that in a minute. But Nika, the Truly train stops, I can tell you that. But one thing I can't tell you is Nika's pace right now. I'm not sure about it, because it's looking promising at sometimes, yet not promising at other times. But someone's pace who is looking promising is Prince Killer's in terms of Wolgenbert, because it looks like Wolgenbert may be pitting quite soon onto another spec of tyres, maybe onto the hards before we know it. Looks like Geef Miyippa is absolutely happy that I'm riding on board right now with a certain Prince Killer. But into the middle sector we go, and I don't believe any moves will be done. But let's have a look. Yeah, York's coming into the pits. He's looking for maybe a bit of an undercut on the likes of Invisible, and being sure behind him is Nika. Is losing time. What's happened to Nika? Not sure what's happened to Nika whatsoever. So where will Capitano come out in relation to York? So York goes on to the softs. So he's going for the 2-stop strat as Capitano comes into the pits again, and he's got another front wing change coming ahead of him. So that's not good for him whatsoever. Riding on board with Prince Killer now, as Wesley and Nika are changing positions. Actually down into Mirabeau. Oh, it's Nika. I'm feeling it's his tyres. I have a feeling his tyres are absolutely done for. That's his problem right now. So yeah, his rears are gone. He's going to have to pit at the end of this lap. His rears are gone. He's got no turning. Is that from wing damage? I don't see from... Is that just his rears just being an absolute havoc? It's got to be, because he's going so slow into these corners. Yeah, it's got to be the rears. His rears are gone. Has he got a puncture? As Lord F has left the session. I think Nick has got a puncture. He must have a puncture. I can't see one though. He's got to. Like, look at those. That's not... I don't know what's wrong with Nick. Has he got... He must have a puncture. I don't know. Coming into the pits now. No front wing change for Nicker. So it must have been, I don't know, puncture related maybe. As Wesley and Beanstra are very close together. As, look at that. Black Mamba, has he pit? Has Black Mamba pit? Black Mamba has actually come out of the pits. And someone who's actually trying the undercut is Walshabert. He's gone onto the mediums though, which is slightly worrying for his strategy call, unless he's going for the two-stop, which I have a feeling his strategy from Jeff may have suggested, unlike Skyzy, who I have a feeling he knows his strategy. No, he does. He's gone onto the mediums as well. So do these guys think they can either, number one, take these mediums to the end, or number two, well, there is no number two. Number one, take these mediums to the end. Where's Walshabert and all of these? Coming out of the pits now. Walshabert may actually get the jump here. He's got the jump. Walshabert's got a mass... No, he hasn't. Never mind. I thought Walshabert had a jump there, but no, not today. But at the moment, he will have much warmer tyres than Skyzy ahead of him, as Nicker does pick up a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, so Walshabert, even though being behind, will have fresh, have warmer tyres. As we've actually got yellow sector 2. Let's have a look who that's for. That's for no... Capitano's retired, is what's happened. As, yeah, that's not good. So Capitano, after those two stops, is completely out of things. We're down to the same amount of drivers as we did in F1, as we got more yellows in Sector 2. And I'm surprised there isn't any kind of safety car. What is up with Nicker's back end right now, as Capitano does leave the session? We've got still more yellows in Sector 2. I think that's for the marshals cleaning up Capitano's car. And I obviously didn't get a view of it, so hopefully the car is okay and able to make it to the next round. But that Renault not looking too good right now, and that may be due to, I don't know, some lack of practice maybe. Not sure, I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head. But anyway, now the gaps are starting to increase a bit, as Skyzy actually picks up a 3-second time penalty now. So Skyzy, thrashing his car a bit too much through turn number 1, has picked up that time penalty. Let's have a look at Walshabert behind. Walshabert doesn't have a warning yet, so Skyzy, yes, has picked up his first penalty of the session. So now Skyzy will have to thrash him around, and knowing Walshabert, he'll probably check the guy ahead and will know that he has a chance of winning right now, due to the fact that the guy ahead has got that 3-second time penalty, which will strictly inhibit their race a lot. But the gap at the moment, 1.9 seconds. So only a second Skyzy needs to gain to make that penalty almost neutralise itself out, equal itself out, as we come through towards the swimming pool chicane one more time. As you see the back end being a bit slidey on Walshabert's end. As Gold says, watching all the way from Ferrari celebration downtown Milan. No McLaren tonight, but we're straight back into Canada. Glad to see you're watching in Milan, Goldie. As I don't get why you're there so early. It's Wednesday. It's not Thursday. Like, you should have flown out today, unless you have flown out today really early on this morning. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. Hope you're enjoying my voice back. Obviously, you've been missing my voice recently, everyone. So I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to see these drivers' names back, and happy to commentate on everyone. He's a Mercedes. He is Mercedes. He used to work for Mercedes, so I'd be expecting him to say Lewis and Valtteri. But I don't know what he may be actually supporting a different team. But who knows? Who knows? I may not know Goldie well enough. But anyway, we got more yellows in sector 2. Oh, that's Prince round. Prince Killer's round. That's not good, as definitely one person in the comments won't be happy about that, as he's lost a ton of time, and that may be due to tyre temps at the moment skyrocketing for Prince Killer. Maybe a podium if he's not careful. But anyway, coming around, he's trying to get on top of it now, and it looks like at the moment, sadly, it's not been the best for Prince Killer. He's losing more time, but front wing wise, he looks okay. It looks okay front wing wise. So Prince has been let off lucky here now, as we run on board with Wolschaber on his own at the moment. But you can see Skyzy in that mid distance. But that is the gap that you kind of want. So there's no dirty air, no air disrupting your tyres, disrupting your turnout corners. So in fairness, it's not a bad place to be right now for Wolschaber, as he is preserving tyres and also getting a tiny bit of the air which has been disrupted, hence maybe a bit more slipstream than he would usually get as he rides over the curve of the Nouvelle chicane. Riding on board with Vinsha now, who's actually still staying pretty well with a certain Wesley ahead of him. Wesley on the hards, and obviously he's on the mediums, so that is probably why, because of the tyre choices. Wesley has spun it, and Vinsha's picked up a 3-second time penalty for his incident, as at the moment Wesley will not be happy with himself. He's probably kicking himself right now, as he's now, I can definitely see with his wheel moving, he's pushing that car now. He's not happy with his mistake, and he's going to be pushing that car to the absolute limit to gain up lost time. As we have a supporter for Wolschaber right now. As Capitano actually gave up, so it was just a retirement, so it wasn't actually him binning into a wall. I believe he just gave up. But anyway, so the 9 is still in. Sadly, Nicker not where he would want to be at the end of this, but it looks like he must have had a puncture. That's the only thing I can think about for Nicker's situation right now. He must have had a puncture. Let's have a look at lap times compared to York. So Nicker's saying 1:15.6s, York's saying 1:15.4s, but that is on a different compound tyre. So in theory, Nicker's about a second a lap quicker if these guys were on the same tyres. And York will 100% have to pit again. So it's not the end here. But at the moment, gaps are increasing for all the drivers. Wolschaber just needs to stay within that 3 seconds to have any chance of winning this Grand Prix. Prince Killer has reacted well to his mishap and has gone and set the fastest lap of the race. So at the moment, he's got that fastest lap point. Let's have a look at that point at the moment. Yes, it is with a 1:12.8 on the mediums, and not a bad lap time at all for Prince, as he's trying to make up for lost time ahead. So he's actually beating Skyzy by 3 tenths, Wolschaber by 5 tenths, and yeah, those are the two ahead of him. So 13.4 for Invisible as well, but a good lap time from Prince Killer to get back in charge of that, and also gaining an extra point, so it'd actually now be on 16 points instead of the mere 15 that he would be getting at the start. But anyway, we now ride on board with Wolschaber as he comes thrashing round towards the Nouvelle Chicane, not the Nouvelle Chicane, through Rascasse and into Anthony Oaks now for another time. So we're around halfway into this Grand Prix now. We've got one more lap and then we would have reached halfway. At the moment, I've got to say my stand-up performer is, even though he has had a spin, I would have to say Prince Killer. Like, nothing. Like, with that fastest lap, and I know he was catching on to Wolschaber before his spin. Last match, Prince Killer wins his podium. Now he can get back up into P3. Yeah, as Invisible and Wesley. So Wesley's just come into the pit for another from wing change. I believe it's his second of the race. Out in the mediums, those will go to the end. I can assure you of that. As Geef Meeper once again with the same message once again. Go Prince Killer. We definitely have a supporter in the chat there. He's like the Tifosi Prince right now, as I've definitely had my coming together with Prince Killer in F1 a few seasons back, but sadly we've never really had a battle. So I know he's a quick driver, obviously he was in F1, so he's got to be quick, but I've never really had a true battle with the Torso lad right now. Coming through Lowe's hairpin, Wesley now comes. He's only 9/10 behind Nicker. Wesley obviously on new tyres. Nicker's tyres are 7 laps old, so they should be still in their prime. As we now see Wesley trying to break a bit of slip, maybe just make sure he can see the racing line and know where his braking boards are and all that. But it looks like he's almost saving up EOS. Unlike Nicker, he's got 40% more EOS than Nicker ahead as he's hit the wall. That's going to definitely 100% mean he's got wing damage. His end plate's gone. As that's going to be bad for him. But will he be able to get past Nicker? Right here, the Truly train not really a thing right now. Was that 3 wide for a second there? As a certain Vitra came out of the pits. Yes, it was. They're still 2 wide as Nicker has somehow defended that position well. But for a brief second there, they were 3 wide. And my God, that must have been scary for the likes of Nicker. I'm going to watch that back on my little phone. As let's have a look at that then. Yeah. So Vitra comes out of the pits for a glint of a second alongside of the 2 battling, as Wesley is really wanting to get past Nicker as soon as possible to catch up to York ahead of him on those softs, who will surely be pitting within the next few laps. Let's have a look at this. Wesley now getting very close to the back and now going around the outside. Maybe this is going to be audacious, as he's going to have to yield for that, as Nicker has taken the true racing line and is still on top of Wesley. As he's in P7 and Wesley down in P8 at the moment. As I've just sound like Sid the Sloth there saying the word Wesley. But York, as expected, has come into the pits. And if he doesn't have front wing damage, probably should. Well, he will be at the back of this pack. He doesn't have front wing damage. So a good stint. And now he goes onto the hards for this end, for the end of the race. So Vincent now coming down to turn 1. Wesley's now just got himself a time penalty. Will York be able to catch up to the likes of Veenstra ahead of him? They're coming down. As look at that, Nicker and Wesley are really battling here, as it looks like, as a certain Oswaldo I said, the Truly train is coming back into effect, as I expect within a few minutes York will be back up that train, as Nicker is doing all he can to defend. Meanwhile, up at top, I probably should mention this, as Skyzy's been putting out some amazing laps, has now brought that gap out to more than 3 seconds between him and Walshaber. But let's have a look at his warning situation. Is he on target for another penalty? He's got 1 warning. Walshaber is on no penalties, no warnings, no nothing. So at the moment, it's game on, because what Skyzy needs to do is maintain that gap, maintain his speed that he's doing, but ensure that he doesn't get any warnings as he comes around, and that must have inhibited maybe a bit of time. Let's have a look. As it looks like Walshaber's looking as Wesley's out. Wesley's out. His teammate. It's his teammate. What's happened here? Has he lost it in the pit lane? I can't see him. Has he DNF'd in the pit lane? I honestly don't know what's just happened there. That is what you call a peculiar incident. Hopefully we'll be able to hear from Wesley. I have no clue what happened, as Goldie is supporting Walshaber, saying close that gap, and he's only got 7/10 to close. Have 1 good lap and he'll be right back up there. Still not sure if these guys have the pit or not. I expect they do, in fairness. To be fair, it'll probably be a 2-stop in the end, won't it? It'll be soft, medium, soft, if I'm not mistaken, as Veenstra, Wesley's teammate, does pick up a 3-second time penalty now, as Veenstra is actually right on the back of Nicker. So the place behind Nicker has been traded, as he's broke way too late. And I expect he's not coming into the pits. What? I don't know if that was Nick's fault or was that Vince's fault. Let's have a look on stream. Let's have a look. So from what I can see, oh no! What's happened to Vince now? He's binned it into the wall. I have a feeling that's because of maybe a front wing, and we're now down to 7. We are down to 7 drivers now, as we can see a very, very laggy car of Vince. Now we're down to only 7, as yeah, he tried to turn in and he's gone way too quickly into the corner. And both Hasses are now out of this race, and we're down to 7 drivers as the pack is slowly diminishing. So all these guys now are just trying to ensure that they don't get any front wing damage. That will really inhibit their races. So we're right on board with Skyzy actually. So let's have a look at his last lap actually. In what's the word? I don't know what the word is. In comparison, sorry, to Walshabert's Island. So he did a 14.1. Walshabert did a 13.9. So he's actually closing his Walshabert on that last lap, and that gap is going down. It's 3.4 at the moment, 3.43. As we just need to have a look as the laps go on. Is that gap closing? Because if that gap closes, and I don't think Walshabert has any warnings of any kind, Walshabert still could take this. So Skyzy at the moment with that lead, but I'm not sure if that's a secure lead or not. So at the moment, obviously there's only 7 drivers left and everyone's covered by quite a lot. So who's getting the most positions? I guarantee it's going to be York most probably. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is. It's York and Invisible both on the same. So even though 4 drivers have retired from the race, they'll be happy to know they began more points. So the least someone will get, I believe, is 6 points. So York, just by finishing this, will get 6 points at the end of this. So with 15 laps to go, he'll just be hoping to stay out of the barrier. And as I treated it last night, as I was not close to many people, I treated it more as a practice session, as I know that some of these people do as well, like Skyzy. I believe he's got a race around here tomorrow in another league. So this will be a bit of a practice session almost, just making sure he is clear of any contact and hoping for the best, basically, as he breaks down into Sandevot once again. No heroics into Sandevot, as Jeff would usually say, as he's gained that gap. That gap has grown by about 0.2 of a second, as you could just see Walshabert in the background there, as gaps are just slowly increases for basically all the drivers on the grid. So everyone's just spreading out a bit. I'd love to see a track map right now, but at the moment we see Skyzy coming into lows. Walshabert coming through Mirabo, coming down to turn number 3 is Prince, coming into turn 1 is Black Mama, behind that into Anthony Nose, and then behind that into now to back, and then into the Nouvelle Chicane for York, as he picks up a 3-second time penalty. So now it's almost a stage of Skyzy lapping York. Could this be a hampering for Skyzy if York doesn't get out of the way? Say if he catches him in this section here, there'll be no chance of Skyzy passing him. Absolutely no chance until Raskas, when there's only a minimal chance that he will be able to overtake, because he's run a bit wide through Raskas actually, as we do talk about it. Let's have a look at Walshabert's actually gained from that. He's gained about a 10th from that incident. I still hope for a fight. Yeah, there is a fight. Granted, it isn't happening right at the moment on the track. It's still happening in terms of the intervals and everything on that side, because obviously I'm not sure how much you know this game, but so Skyzy at the moment has got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, for 3 infringements of corner cutting, meaning that at the end of his race 3 seconds will be added on to his race time. As Walshabert has been actually losing a bit of time to the back, so he's actually now, after the penalty has been added, 1.1 seconds now behind Skyzy. So what Walshabert needs to do is get it under 3 seconds. He needs to get in that 2.3 something range, and then it will be good for him, as he also does. Well, yeah, as he just needs to gain some time, as Prince Keller just on his own. So is Black Mamba. And I'm yawning. I've had a long day. It's not due to the commentary. I'm actually kind of enjoying it, even though there aren't any gaps at all. We're just seeing guys just learning the track. It's nice to see that, like the likes of York, I've never seen him race before, just getting to know the track, and you can now see Nicker ahead of him. I'm not sure if that gap's closing. Let's have a look at that gap. So York, let's just forget about time penalties. So 14.6 for York. Nicker's just set a 15.2. So York is actually quicker right now than Nicker ahead of him. So we'll see that gap definitely go down. So if it's not for the lead, there'll definitely be a race for last. Obviously you don't want to be last in a race. So whoever takes this position, so York will obviously have to catch up to Nicker. But then, as loads of people say, it's not the catching up, it's a passing as well, because around the track like Monaco, it's going to take at least 4 or 5 laps to find an opportunity to overtake someone, as he comes around the final few corners now, does the Alfa Romeo. So he's gaining around 8/10 that lap alone. So within 2 laps time, York will be there. He will be there. As let's have a look at the tyres once again. So York is on 7-lap-old hards, and Nicker, on the other hand, is on some mediums, 23.4 seconds to the guy ahead. But I don't think those laps are improving. If I was Wolfsburg right now, I don't know about you, but I would go and pit. I'm not sure what the tyres are like, but I would pit right now onto a set of softs and just set it alight, because at the moment I know softs can do about a 1 minute 12 as he completely goes into a tank slapper there. So a 1 minute 12. So Wolfsburg right now is doing around a 1 minute 14, as it looks like around the same for Skies as well, as he pulled out a 13.4 the last lap, hence his gap has made up so much basically in the last few laps. So what I would do if I was Wolfsburg right now is force a pit stop from Skysy by coming into the pits right now, and then maybe in the last few laps he can apply some pressure, like for example what Hamilton did at Hungary. What happened with Wesley? No clue. I can't replay, sadly. Meanwhile, yes, there has been a battle up top at the moment, but a battle at the bottom has been commencing. York versus Nicker. Down into the lowest hairpin. York versus Nicker. It's happened before down into Mirabeau and did not end well. So once again, we now see running on board with Nicker what Nicker can see ahead of him. We can see the tunnel ahead of him as York is behind. We'll run on board with York actually and see if he can try and conjure up a move of some kind down into the next few corners. No, not at the moment, as York's getting all the support right now. As you can see Skysy in the background actually almost ready to lap these guys. So York right now on this battle of last, battle between 6 points and 8 points basically at the moment. And also if you did pit right now, not only would he probably pass Prince Killer within a few laps for Wolfsburg, he would also get that fastest lap point. So I don't see what there's really to lose. Obviously it's a bit too late now, unless those tyres really do hit the cliff and lose a lot of grip. But I'm not sure. I've never run the mediums. If these guys run the mediums well, I may actually have to try it out, because I've been going soft hard. So we now see a certain Mr. Skysy closing up behind York. And this could really, really damage Skysy's race here, as obviously these two are battling, and this isn't real life. So these guys won't get out of the way at the first opportunity. They'll get away around the third opportunity. They'll get out of the way. So will now Skysy be held up by the likes of York, by the likes of Nicker ahead? Because we can now see Wolfsburg coming through Now we can still see Skyzy. It's a 3.9 second gap. That's not a lot. He only needs to gain 9/10 of a second, as mediums can easily like. Oh, okay. Thank you for that information. As I have a guess, his brother did it last night. Yeah, lap 11. So, oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that info. As I don't think the tyres are going to hit the cliff. Actually, now I've heard that information. I thought they would, but Pirelli obviously a bit too conservative with their tyre choice around here. We need the C5s basically as the hard compound tyres, please. ERS wise, obviously it looks like Skyzy is now coming up to these lap cars as York has lost time. So what will happen here then? Because Skyzy is going to close up to York. Oh, he's got them in the best position as well. Because York will probably receive blue flags around now. As you know, he's a bit too far behind right now. It looks like, has Walterberg had a bit of an incident? He's just lost a ton of time. No, his wing looks okay. So down into this final sector here, what will Skyzy be doing? Because it doesn't look like he's gaining that much on the back of like York and Co. So York has just been given the blue flags, but Skyzy's just not close enough for an overtake. And he's just saving ERS behind York right now. And I expect through the next few corners, York will have to give up with that. As I don't believe no longer Skyzy's asking for the blue flags. Never mind. York's just been given blue flags again. And I expect before long, if there's no kind of warning, he may actually get a penalty. But Skyzy, he's not closing up, is the thing. Like, he's not closing up, and neither is Walterberg in this either. Neither of them are closing up, as Walterberg's just gone off the pace once again. 1.1 second is lost in the last lap alone. So right on board with Skyzy now. He needs to get past quickly after Portier. Is going to be his best chances. York will definitely have to get out of the way soon, otherwise penalties will start to be a problem. Yes, York does get out of the way. Well done from York there for getting out of the way. Down to Portier. So now he's got a bit of a buffer now to Skyzy, to Walterberg behind him. 5.2 seconds. But now, what does he do in terms of Nika? So Nika, he looks like he's trying to push away from this pack, as Invisible does come into the pits and will come out. And yes, Invisible will try and steal this fastest lap of the race. That's my thinking. He's going to go and steal the fastest lap. He knows he's on his own. He knows he's not going to catch anyone else. So why the hell not just go for fastest lap? So here's Nika now. Where's Skyzy? Skyzy's just behind Nika. So that's the gap. So I expect before long, Nika will be receiving those blue flags and Skyzy will be saying, yes, get out of the way, as Nika does around turn number 3. And now it looks like a plain sailing now for Skyzy. Because not only now does Skyzy have a gap, he's also got 2 cars in between him and Walterberg. So Walterberg, I don't know what's happened to his tyres recently. Let's have a look. He must have hit the cliff. 15s now he's setting. He's setting 15s to Skyzy's. What's Skyzy's just been saying? He's been saying mid-14s. So at the moment, Walterberg just doesn't have the pace. So he's needing, as York has got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Not good for his ventures on Nika. But at the moment, it's not looking good, is it? As Walterberg just needs to try and stay on, but it's not happening, is it? The only way that Skyzy's going to lose that lead now if he grabs another penalty, as he hasn't got a warning in a ton of laps. So I expect that he'll be able to comfortably go to the end and just pray for no warnings. It's York and Nika are in that battle for the final position, basically. I was about to say points paying, but no, the final points paying position is down in P10, and that's long gone. That was gone around lap, I believe, around lap 11, lap 12. So these guys with 5 laps to go, it's now a 5-lap sprint race. Will York be able to get past Nika? York's tyres obviously being much fresher than Nika's ahead of him, and will definitely have more grip through the likes of Portier now. But does he have the traction that he needs? No, he doesn't right now. So coming out of the tunnel, breaking now down into, oh, York to the back of Nika. And that's surely front wing damage. Surely. So that could either, number one, inhibit Walshaber, or absolutely say hallelujah to him. Because it depends if now York comes into the pits and wants to set fastest lap or not. So let's have a look then. Will York come into the pits? York does not come into the pits as Prince Killer receives a time penalty. So Invisible, I don't believe, set the fastest lap on that lap. Am I mistaken? No, he did not. He set a 14.7 on that lap. So he just needs to push that car to the limit. It looks like there's yellow flags in Sector 3. And I'm not sure who that's for. It looks like it may have been a Prince Killer incident. Has he just lost a bit of his front wing? Let's have a look. I'm looking. Yeah, he's lost his front wing. So Prince has lost one side of his front wing. Another question will be, will he come into the pits then? He's got to. Look how slow he is through the corners. Prince Killer may actually lose his podium now. But he's only got to hold on for 4 laps. So it depends how much he's losing at the end of each lap. So at the moment, Black Mamba is closing, but is it by a lot? Black Mamba on those hards. Those hards can go a long distance. We know that. We just do know that. But then so can the mediums. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that gap. It's about 15.7 right now. Let's have a look by the end of that lap if it does change. Maybe Black Mamba's got some kind of damage on him as well. As York and Nicker are in the battle of their lifetime right now. As York is right behind Nicker. He's got the DRS he needs. He's got the ERS he needs. And now breaking down into turn 1. Nicker's just blocked it off. And now that's a move. If he can make that work. Oh, it's side by side. And he's going to back out of that. York being very audacious down into... up the hill actually. Into the casino part of the track. As before long they'll have to make the way for Walshaber, who is definitely at this point sadly not going to be able to challenge Skyzy, as Skyzy's just got that lead now. It's now 4 seconds now to Walshaber behind. He did pull up a very good battle, but it looks like the battle's now been lost. Coming through the tunnel now, we now see Walshaber on the back of York, as York has been given the blue flags. And so will Nicker, I can definitely say, in the next few corners. Don't know where Nicker's going to pull over, as York picks up a 3-second time penalty. So if it's not by the racing, I believe York's got enough penalties that he wouldn't be able to finish ahead anyway. So it looks like at the moment Prince Killer is safe from Black Mamba, as Black Mamba is not closing at the rate they would need to secure any position above at P4. So it looks like Prince is safe at the moment, and it doesn't look like Invisible is it doesn't look like he's going. I don't know why it doesn't look like he's going quick. He's setting 15s on the softs. It's just not right. Has he got? He must have. Does he not have front wing damage? Yeah, he's got front wing damage. That's why. So what's happened is Invisible's tried to push it too hard and it's just gone wrong basically. As Black Mamba. Yep, he's going for it. Black Mamba wants to make that fastest lap. He's trying to get that point to make his points tally go from 12 to 13. As we've got yellows in sector 2, and that is a slow Invisible. He's lost. Yes, he's actually got out of the way for a certain Skyzy, who is now just flying away from Walshaber at a fast pace. As Nicker has got a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. So why don't we have a look at Black Mamba then? He's obviously going to be on new tyres. He's got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. But it's all about that fastest lap point now. What can he do on the soft compound tyres? The fastest lap at the moment is a 1:12.6, but he's retired from the Grand Prix. So actually there's no one with the fastest lap at the moment. So I believe it's just done on Dunn, who's got the fastest lap right now, as Prince Killer now comes into the pits. And it looks like, I think I've guessed it basically. Everyone's going to be coming to the pits and wanting to set that fast lap. So it's basically become a qualifying session. It has come a qualifying session with all the drivers just getting ready to set these final few laps alight. As yep, Nicker comes out of the pits now. York staying out, just wanting that position rather than the fastest lap. Obviously that's points rather than position. But let's have a look then. Right on board with Black Mamba right now. As he starts the lap 38. What's he doing with his EOS then? Black Mamba, your EOS, you need it. I don't know what he's going on. He's forgot about his EOS basically, I think. But let's have a look. So Nika, will he be the person to set the fast lap? Will Prince Killer be the one to set the fast lap? Because it looks at the moment Black Mamba's completely forgot about the elephant in the room, which is his EOS. Prince Killer, he's not a lap down. Is he a lap down? No, he's not. They're not a lap down, are they? So they've still got another lap. So I think they will save their EOS for the final lap for a splash and dash. They're saving fuel. They're saving fuel. So these top two are saving fuel. I think Nika, this is the final lap. So actually, no, never mind, it isn't. So Nika's got one more chance. As Skyzy's on his final lap now. Nika will be able to go for a faster lap. So will Prince Killer. So will Black Mamba. And so will Invisible if he's so pleased. If it looks like he's got more problems on his mind than that. So now let's have a look at a certain Prince Killer who will be... let's wait. Nick is going to be the first actually to go and set this. It's a qualifying session now. They're all looking for that fastest lap point. All of them. GG Prince Killer. It's not the end yet. They've still got a lap to go. Back to back P3. I wouldn't say that yet. He's still got a lap to go. As we need to run on board with Nika. So as Skyzy, I'm sorry, I missed that. Skyzy has just gone and dominated the race. I think we should congratulate him. As well done, Skyzy, on your win today. As that is a good win from him. Walshaber did take P2 in the end, but I'm too invested at the moment on this fast lap battle. Well done, Skyzy, on the win. Good management of tyres and everything. GG to him. But let's have a look. So as Invisible finishes P5, York finishes P6. Nika coming around the final corner now. Will he be able to set the fastest lap? We're now just going to have a look at the fast lap. Nika doesn't set the fast lap of the race. Prince Killer up to the line. He will finish P3. Does he have the fast lap? 11-1. Black Mamba up to the line. Will he beat it? He won't. So Prince Killer takes the fast lap of the race. And he will grab a 16th point for that 15. So that, my friends, is the end of the race. And Skyzy has got the win today. And second today was a certain Walshaber. And P3 today was Prince Killer. There will be podium interviews, as I've said, but they will be brief, I do believe, as I do need to go for dinner. But there will be podium interviews nonetheless. So let's go have a look through the very short, the very short standings. So Skyzy took the win today. Good result from him, as I was about to leave the session. Walshaber took P2. P3 was Prince Killer. P4 was Black Mamba. P5 Invisible. P6 York. And P7 was Nika. And your non-finishes were Vinstra, Wesley, Capitano and Lord Elephant on the first lap. So that is your end of the Grand Prix. And now I'm going to invite the top three for podium interviews. I've invited the top three for the podium interviews now, and I'm happy to see there's still 8 people on the live stream. We've had constant viewership, and I'd like to thank everyone who stayed around for and endured my commentary, because at times it can be a bit rough. But Walshaber's now joined the party. Just make sure your voice doesn't always allow. Prince Killer, same thing applies to you. Make sure your voice doesn't always allow, so then there's no awkward pauses, and then we just need to wait for Skyzy to join the party. As looks like Prince, you're getting you're getting asked something in the chat from one of your mates. Skyzy, same thing applies to you. Make sure your voice and always allow before starting this, and then we shall start.
It's fine.
Lovely, it's all good. And Skyzy, it was looking like it could have been a very virtual battle in the first stages. Obviously, with that 3-second time penalty you acquired quite early on into the race, with Walshabert in behind. But as the race went on, you were very consistent with your tyres, and it looked like you just knew how to manage those tyres to bring the most out of them. Well done on the P1 by 4 seconds after that penalty. How was that race for you?
It was very stressful race. This one is for Hubert, as always. God bless him. Anyway, yeah, I screwed my quali laps, so I started P2, as you saw. And yeah, for the race, it was just a matter of managing the tires and fuel also, and ERS. And yeah, I took 3 seconds. I don't know really why, but yeah, it spiced the race a bit. But yeah, I'm very happy to win this for Antoine. And yeah, it was very stressful because Monaco is very difficult to race with the walls, obviously. And yeah, when I catch up the traffic, like Nika and I believe it was York.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they will let me by that easily. So thanks to them. Yeah, it was a good race, not an easy one, but yeah, GG to the top 3, so Kiro and Albert was trouble. I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry, but P2 man.
Just Bird or something. Bird?
Okay, Bird, okay. And that's a shame for Lord that DNF just after the start. I need to watch what he did again. But yeah, thanks for the race.
Yeah, obviously, one more thing to ask you before I let you go. Obviously, you got Walshabert off the line. I don't know if that was just your amazing start, obviously on a pad, or I don't know if it was Walshabert's bad start or something, but it must have been something to get up into P1 on the first lap, knowing that you had a bit of a mistake in qualifying.
Yeah, I bet everything on my start. So yeah, it works perfectly. And otherwise I had a very strange strategy. It was like to pit on lap 1 after the first lap, to put the hard tires and then go to the end. With my pace, I'm sure that I will be around P1 or at least P2, but yeah, I did not use it because yeah, I was already first in the first corner. So yeah, very good start. Not usual, but yeah, thanks my pad for that.
Well, yeah, obviously pad traction a bit OP on this game, you could say, but I'm not going to go into that debate.
I'm using no traction, by the way.
Yeah, still pad traction's just a bit OP though, isn't it?
You're joking.
No, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. But anyway, we're not going to go into the pad versus wheel debate because otherwise we will never stop. Well done on the win today, Skyzy. As
Thanks,
you said,
thanks a lot.
This one's for Antoine, as obviously under the French flag, it's kind of deserved. Well done on the win, and thank you for racing.
And GG for the commentary.
No problem. Now for P2 Walshabert, I've actually never been able to commentate a race on you. Actually, no, I did. Never mind. I did actually commentate a race on you, I do believe. But then you're obviously in F1 for a bit, so haven't been. I don't think I've actually ever talked to you. So well done on your P2. Obviously, you must have known that Skyzy had that penalty ahead, but it maybe down to mistakes or something. You just couldn't get within that 3-second barrier that you needed to get that P1.
No, first of all, quali, I had a very good lap, but I didn't expect to get P1, which was a surprise. Then my start, not the best start as you saw, and a great start by Skyzy. Then on lap 4, I think I hit the barrier slightly, which cost me my right front wing a bit. And then after that, last 3 laps of my first stint, I was really struggling with the tires. Then I pitted one lap earlier because it was really unmanageable. Then I hoped I could get close with the undercut, but didn't work out. Yeah, then the pace from Skyzy was just too much for me. I really couldn't keep up, and yeah, I did knew about the penalty, but still, he was a bit too fast today.
Yeah, obviously Skyzy being a bit OP. Obviously, people were asking for him to be moved up to F1, as you can probably still hear Skyzy. I don't think you should. But anyway, yeah, it was obviously. But yeah, Walsh, but you had a very good race, in fairness. Around Monaco, barriers are going to be an absolute threat. But one thing that I need to learn is obviously being close to the barriers, because I'm not very good and usually do get a lot of damage. So how much damage did you actually have? Like, because I always used to find, obviously last night, that yellow front wing was just unmanageable.
Yeah, I had a bit less, I think. I just tapped the wall, the screen right in the right corner with the car and stuff came, and I saw a bit.
Was it like light green?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yellow greens.
Oh, okay.
It was still manageable, yeah.
Yeah, so it's still manageable. So that kind of helped. A bit of a lucky stroke there, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, a very good race from you to grab that P2. Well done on that race, and 18 points have gone your way.
Yeah, I tried to get the fast lap, but
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't know if Prince was gonna pit, and I saw it too late. I saw it on lap 38, so I couldn't pit anymore. That's a shame, but anyway, still a good result, and congrats to Prince as well on the podium.
Yeah. Well done to you for P2, and now on to P3. Definitely the fan favourite from one person, Prince Killer. Well done on that P3, who definitely didn't get biased from somebody in the comments today. But yeah, obviously, not only did you get P3, you also got that fastest lap point right at the death. Obviously, it turned into a bit of a qualifying session near the end of the race, with everyone trying to get that fastest lap point. But in the end, you got it, and a P3. It could have been closer at the front, but obviously, I think you had that mistake at the Nouvelle chicane. But except for that, a very good race from you, Prince.
Yeah, thank you. I was actually very lucky, because the third last lap I had to wreck the front wing. So I was lucky that Mamba pitted, so I could also pit and get the fastest lap.
Oh, okay, so it was kind of helped by everyone else trying to get that fast up as well, which maintained your podium. Then, am I right?
Yeah, it saved me.
Yeah. So
Yes, right.
So could you just describe your race a bit on how it went on your side of things?
Yeah, it was actually pretty boring. I didn't have the pace. Maybe when Walsterbert struggled with his tires, I could keep up, but after that, when he pitted, I had a horrible lap, and yeah, I just didn't have the pace.
You, just down to pace, was it? Just obviously,
Yes.
yeah. But I'm gonna say you were very good in quali. Actually, you weren't actually that far off the likes of the two ahead of you. As once again, your best fan in the world has just gone in the chat. I think you should just hashtag blessed it because
My little brother, so
ah, okay.
that's why.
That's why. Well, I hope you enjoyed the race. Thank you very much, Prince Killer. Anything else to say, or are you done?
No, thank you.
All good. Cool. Well done on P3. Obviously, you got the fast stuff as well, so 60 points on the table for you. So well done everyone who raced tonight. Obviously, not as many finishes as I would have liked, but a good race nonetheless to commentate on. Thank you everyone very much for watching. I've been Spag, and goodbye.